The Grand Hall of Andrexia was a kaleidoscope of colors filled with representatives from a myriad of species. Thomas Kane stood at the center, feeling out of place yet undeniably vital to the gathering. Layers of alien textiles billowed around him, shimmering in hues he'd never seen on Earth. He brushed a hand over his uniform, adjusting it as if that would make him feel less like a fish out of water. "Are you ready for this?" whispered Liam, his closest friend, who had accompanied him on the diplomatic mission. "No," Thomas replied bluntly, glancing down the elaborately adorned hall. Throngs of excited delegates filled the rows, a mix of anticipation and apprehension dancing in the air. "Do I have to do this? The crown is. I don't want to rule. I want to help." Liam chuckled. "Crowning you isn't ruling, it's a formality. You've done more than most of them already. Just remember to smile and don't trip over your own feet." As the ceremony began, Thomas's heart raced. The Archon of the Xylarian Empire stood at the front, towering and elegant with silver skin glimmering under the hall's iridescent lights. "Welcome, honored guests. Today we gather to crown our new leader, a symbol of unity for the Multi-Species Alliance." Thomas felt the weight of the moment press down on him. He was here to be celebrated, to lead a diverse coalition that represented the interests of many worlds. But with each heartbeat, he felt more uncertain. When the Archon gestured toward him, he hesitated. "Step forward, Thomas Kane," the Archon commanded, voice resonating like thunder. With a deep breath, Thomas moved forward. A sweeping silence fell over the audience. He could feel their eyes on him, their hopes resting on his shoulders. Thomas stopped a mere few steps away from the Archon. He stammered, feeling the collective gaze almost crush him. "I appreciate this honor, but what's it you wish to say?" A voice echoed from the back. It was Zara, the Xylarian diplomat he had met during his earlier visit to Xylar. She stepped forward, her luminescent skin shimmering delicately. "If you're against the idea of a single ruler, then speak your mind." Thomas seized the opportunity, bolstered by her confidence. "Thank you, Zara. I just think a monarchy creates barriers. Shouldn't we focus on collaboration instead?" Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The Archon frowned but persisted. "You would prefer a council?" "Yes," Thomas exclaimed, his voice gaining strength. "A council where everyone has a vote, where all voices matter, not just one. A figurehead doesn't guarantee unity, active cooperation does." The noise in the hall grew louder, a cacophony of disagreement and agreement. Thomas's heart raced as he took a few steps back, hoping to regain composure. Zara shot him an encouraging smile. "That's not what they expected. Keep going." "So," Thomas continued, passion infusing his words, "instead of a crown, let's build something new and strong together. Let's show the people that we thrive as a coalition." "My dear," spoke a dignified elder from a wave-riding species called the Ralthri, gesturing dramatically. "You speak of unity, yet you disrupt our sacred tradition. We have crowned leaders for centuries. Traditions can evolve, just like our societies," Thomas replied, not backing down. "What worked in the past doesn't always serve us now." Another representative, a wiry Koshak with colorful feathers, chimed in. "But will this council be effective? Will we not just be trading one form of inefficiency for another?" "Leadership shouldn't be wasteful," Thomas countered. "You all know what we need, a common goal to solve issues together. We can't be divided among our differences." "A council?" The Ralthri elder's brow furrowed. "And who would lead this council?" "Someone who values every voice," Zara interjected, stepping closer to Thomas, her emerald eyes glinting with determination. "Thomas has experience, and more than that, he listens." "Isn't that what we need?" The crowd buzzed again, deliberating. A laugh escaped Thomas. "I didn't know I was campaigning today." The Archon's gaze fell on Zara, and a hint of approval crossed his features. "You speak well, young Xylarian. Perhaps we should consider this new direction." "So, will we create a temporary coalition then?" the Koshak asked. "To see if this idea works?" "Precisely," Thomas said, his heart racing. "We can have trials, projects, initiatives that allow us to work together. If it doesn't work, we can reevaluate." "Agree," Zara added enthusiastically, touching his arm lightly. "Unbelievable," muttered a voice from the back. "A human convincing us to steer away from centuries of tradition." "Let's not forget that the human was part of a team when he led the last successful alliance," Zara countered, "and if he can do it once, he can surely do it again. This is our chance to craft something unique." As tension hung thick in the air, the Archon raised a hand once more. "Very well, we will consider this proposal. But know that the weight of this decision bears down on more than a singular crown. It carries the fate of many worlds." "Understandable," Thomas said. "It's not just about leadership, it's about partnership." "I like your fire," Zara said softly as the crowd slowly began to disperse. "It takes courage to go against tradition. It takes a lot of help from a certain Xylarian, he replied, meeting her gaze. The chemistry between them sparked like unseen electricity. That was bold. And impulsive, Zara quipped, her smile revealing genuine admiration. I've been known to be both, Thomas replied with a light chuckle, feeling a warmth in his chest. They stood amid the dwindling crowd, and in that moment, there was no pressure, no expectations, just the two of them sharing a quiet connection that seemed far more significant than politics. Come on, Zara said, mischief dancing in her eyes. Let's make this official before they remember who the real contender is. Lead the way, Thomas replied, ready to explore a new chapter not just for the Alliance, but for him and Zara as well. This moment marked the end of fear and the beginning of possibilities. Together, they had sparked a change that could resonate across the stars. Chapter 2. The Unlikely Ally. The days following Thomas's bold speech blurred into a whirlwind of activity. Meetings filled his schedule, and the support for the Kane Initiative grew by the hour. Teams from different species discussed ways to promote collaboration. And yet amidst the chaos, Thomas found himself drawn back to the reassuring presence of Zara. Do you know what the best part is? Zara asked one afternoon, leaning over a holographic display of the Council's proposed projects. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, and a tuft of hair fell into her face, only for her to tuck it behind her ear. What's that? Thomas replied, his lips curling into a smile as he looked over at her. It's the conviction I see in everyone. They want to work together. It feels alive. She pointed at a vibrant chart showing projected energy-saving initiatives. I guess they just needed a little push, Thomas said, his curiosity piqued. But it wouldn't have happened without you. Your support gave me the confidence I needed. Zara's cheeks flushed, and she brushed another stray hair behind her ear. It's not just about support, Thomas. You have a gift for speaking. I think you have a real chance to make a difference. Before Thomas could respond, Liam entered the room. Hey, you two aren't missing the field test for the energy initiatives, are you? Zara perked up. That's today. It is, Liam said, grinning. We finally get to see if your ideas have any weight. Come on, let's go. I can't believe I let you drag me here, Thomas said, rolling his eyes but walking alongside them. Is that a hint of excitement I sense? Liam teased, punching Thomas lightly on the arm. As they approached the outdoor testing site, a vast area designed for collaborative experimentation, colorful kiosks showcased plans from various races. Engineers from the Xylarians, Ralthari, and Koshak mingled together with humans, discussing their work animatedly. Looks like everyone's ready, Zara observed, scanning the bustling scene. Yes, and a bit chaotic, I might add, Thomas replied, amused. How are they supposed to concentrate? Sometimes chaos leads to the best ideas, she pointed out. We won't know if this collaboration works unless we dive in. As they reached the main stage, Thomas took a deep breath. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we can achieve today. An elder from the Koshak raised a clawed hand. Allow me to introduce our first project. Our species has developed an energy converter that reclaims waste and transforms it into renewable energy. Watch closely, he declared, flipping a switch. A flash of light pulsed through the air, and the audience gasped. Energy whipped through the converters, and a steady hum resonated. Impressive, Liam exclaimed. Thomas nodded, feeling the energy of possibility radiating from the crowd. Not too shabby for a first attempt, Zara said, her eyes wide with wonder. As more projects were presented, the atmosphere grew electric with excitement. The concept turned into a demonstration, and Thomas started to feel a sense of ownership over the initiative. He turned to Zara, brimming with enthusiasm. We need to showcase their talents more. We should create a festival around these projects to encourage even more participation. Zara's eyes lit up at the idea. That's brilliant. A way for every species to shine, to help solidify the alliance while showcasing each other's capabilities. I can already imagine the decorations. Correct me if I'm wrong, Liam chimed in, but you two seem more like festival planners than visionaries right now. It's a great idea, don't get me wrong, but we need to keep the focus. True, Thomas agreed, thinking it through. But this is more than just about our vision now. It's about everyone feeling included. A festival could channel that energy. Liam grinned, clearly impressed. You might be onto something, dude. Just then, a loud shout broke through the chatter. "We need help over here." An engineer from the Ralthari tribe was frantically waving, trying to fix one of their energy converters that had suddenly sputtered. "Let's go," Thomas urged, instinct taking over. Climbing up onto the makeshift platform, he called out, "Who can help?" "Ralthari engineer, Ravi," the engineer called back. "I could use another set of hands and some fresh ideas." "Zara, Liam, let's move," Thomas shouted. They rushed over and Zara joined hands with the Ralthari, examining the equipment. "What's the issue?" Ravi pointed to a tangled array of wires. "It shorted out during the test because of incorrect wiring. My team's too distracted. We need to reconnect before the next demonstration." "Let's work together," Zara suggested, rolling up her sleeves. "I can help you untangle the wires." "Got it," Thomas exclaimed, diving into action. "Liam, can you hold this panel steady?" Liam nodded, gripping the panel as Thomas and Zara started pulling wires apart. Minutes turned into an exhilarating race against time, their teamwork fluid and coordinated. The sparks of camaraderie ignited their spirits as they collaborated against the odds. "I think this one goes here," Zara said, her determination propelling her. Thomas held her gaze, and for a brief moment he could almost feel a bond forming beyond their shared mission. "Perfect. Let's secure that," Thomas replied, heart racing as they finished the last connection. Just as they stepped back, the panel buzzed to life, flickering back into action. Cheers erupted around them as the energy converter hummed once more. Ravi laughed, visibly relieved. "You did it. How did you even know to connect that last wire?" "Just a simple guess," Thomas said, smiling. "You're more than just a guesser," Zara said softly, brushing her shoulder against his, heart pounding. "You actually listened, and that's what made the difference." As the taming winds of excitement settled, Thomas felt exhilarated. "This is the kind of collaboration we need. See how quickly we can accomplish things together." "You've got it, Thomas," Zara said, her eyes shimmering with newfound respect. "That's how we build trust." Liam, still beaming with enthusiasm, was keen to capitalize on their success. "If we can solve problems together like this, imagine the festival. It'll be a showcase for every species. Everyone will leave feeling like part of something important." "Absolutely," Thomas agreed, turning to Zara. "We should plan a meeting to discuss all the ideas we've gathered today. Let's share what we accomplished." Afterward, Zara said with a sly grin, "Maybe we can grab dinner. I'd love to hear more of your thoughts." "Dinner? Sounds good," Thomas said, his heart quickening. The prospect of spending more time with her excited him. As the sun began to set, the sky transformed into a canvas of brilliant oranges and deep purples. The atmosphere around them buzzed with camaraderie, ideas exchanged, and friendships blossoming. Thomas, Zara, and Liam stood together looking over the bustling scene filled with laughter and creativity. "I think today proved something," Thomas said, feeling a surge of hope. "What's that?" Zara asked, tilting her head slightly, curiosity in her eyes. "That together we can overcome obstacles, big or small, and honestly, I can't think of two better partners to do it with." Liam nudged Thomas slyly. "Don't forget, you two are also in this together. However, don't let that make you shy about discussing dinner." Zara laughed, and Thomas felt himself relax, the worries of the day washing away. Here, amidst alien cultures and shared purpose, he felt a sense of belonging for him. They were no longer just individuals representing their species, they were allies forging a path forward. And with Zara by his side, he discovered something deeper than collaboration, a budding connection that could change everything. As the stars began to twinkle to life above them, a sense of adventure filled the air, promising a journey unlike any other. Chapter 3: The Birth of a Legend. The following weeks were a whirlwind of planning and preparation for the upcoming festival. The air buzzed with anticipation and excitement as delegates from various species gathered to brainstorm ideas and share resources. Thomas found himself caught up in the fervor, and for the first time in his life, he felt a sense of purpose beyond just being a soldier or a diplomat. "Okay, everyone." Thomas clapped his hands, calling for attention in the brightly lit conference room. Zara stood beside him, her presence a steadying force. "With the festival just a couple of weeks away, we need to finalize our projects and assign tasks. Let's make this memorable." Liam, seated in the front row, was sketching ideas on a holographic pad. "I still think we should have a grand opening ceremony. You know, something that sets the tone right from the start." Zara nodded enthusiastically. "A parade could be amazing. We can have representatives from every species showcasing their culture, traditions, and, of course, an array of incredible tech." "Love it," Thomas said, smiling wide. "And we should feature a ceremony that emphasizes collaboration, like a unity pledge. We can all declare our commitment to work together." A tall Ralthery named Creve, with a beak-like mouth, raised an appendage. What if our music echoed the epic stories of our ancestors? It could capture the essence of our being while binding our stories together. That's brilliant, Zara exclaimed. The combination of sounds could symbolize our unity. Let's keep the ideas flowing, Thomas encouraged. He glanced around the room, noting the shared optimism. We need volunteers to handle logistics, decorations, and even safety. This isn't just about planning. It's about building relationships. A blue-skinned Koshak named Tula raised her hand. I'll help with decorations. I know some artisans who can create spectacular displays. Fantastic. Thank you, Tula, Thomas replied, genuinely pleased. I'll oversee the technical aspects. Came a voice from a younger Ralthery named Jax, whose enthusiasm was palpable. Like lighting and sound equipment. We'll need a lot of support for that, Thomas said, scribbling notes. Which species can provide additional resources? I can rally my people for equipment, Creve said. They love to show off our technology. Excellent. Let's coordinate and get this done together. As the meeting wrapped up, Thomas felt a thrill run down his spine. He called Zara aside as the room started to clear. What do you think? Are we really pulling this off? I think we are, Zara said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. People are excited and invested. There's a sense of community forming already. It's amazing to see, like pieces of a puzzle coming together, Thomas mused, glancing around the bustling space. Then he looked back at Zara. I couldn't have done this without you by my side. The warmth in Zara's gaze deepened. We make a good team, don't we? Definitely, Thomas chuckled. But it's more than teamwork now. I feel as if this is growing into something greater. Whatever it is, Zara said softly, let's harness that energy to ensure the festival makes an impact. Over the next few days, they threw themselves into preparation. Both spent hours in meetings, planning sessions, and brainstorming how to maximize participation across species. One evening, while sitting in Zara's office, surrounded by holographic displays and notes scattered everywhere, Zara looked at Thomas. What if we had a community painting effort? Everyone can collaborate on a mural that represents unity. Great idea, Thomas said, grinning. It can serve as a lasting reminder of our commitment. We could do it live during the festival, Zara suggested. Imagine a canvas growing with every brushstroke. Exactly. And we could utilize drones to capture the process for everyone to see, Thomas added, his excitement contagious. Zara laughed lightly, her expression warming. We make a pretty good brainstorming duo, don't we? Thanks to you. Thomas felt a flutter within him. I'm not used to this kind of partnership. Partnerships can be enriching. Zara smiled. Not just in work but also in life. I agree. Hey, how about we take a break after this? We've been working hard. Zara hesitated for a moment but then nodded. I'd like that. Where do you want to go? How about that cafe near the river? I hear they serve the best planetary brew. Deal, she said, her face glowing with excitement. Later, at the cafe, they found a cozy spot by a large window. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the river. This place is beautiful, Thomas said, watching as the colors shifted. I almost wish we could have the festival here. Zara chuckled. Don't get too comfortable. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Right, of course. He leaned back, taking in the atmosphere. But it's nice to have moments like this, isn't it? Absolutely. Zara's eyes glimmered as she looked outside. It relaxes the mind, sharpens the focus. I like to think it reminds us why we're doing what we're doing. I get that. It's not just a festival for us, it's for everyone, every species involved. And I want them to feel pro. Cheeks hinting at a blush. I feel the same way. The tension in the air shifted and Thomas felt drawn to her in a way he hadn't anticipated. I'm really grateful for you, you know. Not just as a collaborator but as a friend. Friends can make everything easier, she replied, a playful light dancing in her eyes. Taking a breath, Thomas ventured to bridge the gap between them. Would you consider a... Excuse me. A cheerful voice interrupted, belonging to a small, furry creature with a bouncing gait. Can I get you lovely folks anything? Our special blend of grog is unbeatable. Yes, we'll take two, Thomas said, trying to regain his train of thought. Coming right up. The creature scampered away, leaving Thomas and Zara with their thoughts lingering in the air. That was Thomas started, but Zara interrupted. Let's not let a little distraction break the mood, she said, sitting up straighter. What were you saying? I like this. He gestured between them. The trust we've developed. I didn't expect to form such a close bond with anyone, especially not an alien diplomat. Maybe we're both just surprise packages, she said, her eyes sparkling again. Life has a funny way of bringing unexpected people together. True, Thomas said, feeling lighter. I guess we have to embrace that, right? Lean into the unknown. As they shared more laughs and stories over their drinks, Thomas realized how enjoyable the collaboration was becoming, not just on a professional level but personally as well. That evening, as Thomas escorted Zara back to her quarters, a new longing unfolded inside him, one he had not yet explored. Perhaps they were not just partners in an alliance but something even more significant. He hoped that as the festival approached, it would not only solidify their professional connection but also give them a chance to explore a deeper relationship, friendship blossoming into something more. Thomas paused at her door, looking into her eyes. Thank you for today. I really needed this. Zara smiled warmly, and for a heartbeat he wished he could lean in and kiss her. But instead he simply nodded. See you tomorrow? Absolutely. We have a festival to plan, she said, grinning. As he turned to leave, Thomas felt a renewed sense of purpose. The project was still in its infancy, but with Zara by his side, he was excited about where it might lead. The festival wasn't just an event, it was the beginning of something monumental for them all, woven together with threads of shared experiences as they charted into uncharted territories. Chapter 4, Shadows of Doubt. The day of the festival arrived, bright and vivid. Thomas stood backstage, feeling the rumble of excitement and anxiety swirling in the air. Colorful banners fluttered and music floated in from the main stage. Representatives from various species gathered, chatting and preparing for the day's events. Thomas, you good? Liam's voice broke through his thoughts, and Thomas turned to see him approaching, stylishly clad in a combination of human and Koshek garments. I guess so, Thomas replied, rubbing the back of his neck. I just keep thinking about everything riding on today. You've worked hard. You, Zara, and the others have put in the effort. Just let the moment happen. Liam grinned. Plus, you have no idea how fired up everyone is. I know, but what if something goes wrong? Thomas asked, glancing at the bustling crowd. I just want this to be a success for everyone involved. Chill out, man. You've dealt with worse situations than this, like the time we had to navigate a peace talk with the Ralthery. Remember how chaotic it got? True, Thomas said with a small smile, recalling the hectic negotiations. Still, this feels different. I want it to be a defining moment. It will be. Just look at how far we've come. Liam waved his hands dramatically, trying to lift the mood. You and Zara are practically a power couple in diplomatic circles now. Power couple? Thomas laughed. We're just friends working together. Sure, but it's clear there's something more between you two. Everyone can see it. Liam nudged him, smirking. Before Thomas could respond, Zara arrived, bounding up with vibrant energy. Hey, is everything ready? The stage looks incredible. Almost, Liam replied. Waiting for the final checks, but I think it'll be awesome. Zara turned to Thomas. You look a bit pale. Are you nervous? Just thinking about the significance of today, he admitted, running a hand through his hair. What if it doesn't land how we hoped? Hey, she said, stepping closer, her gaze steady. We're all in this together. If something goes off track, we adapt. We have to trust one another. Right? Thomas took a deep breath. You're right. She smiled, and the tension in his chest eased slightly. Remember what we talked about? Focusing on connection, not perfection. Yeah, Thomas replied, feeling more grounded. I just want everyone to feel included and excited. Then let's give them a reason to be, Zara encouraged. Are you ready to take this step forward? Ready as I'll ever be, Thomas said, a hint of determination igniting within him. A loud horn blasted, bringing everyone's attention to the stage area. The crowd hushed, and the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. Here we go, Thomas murmured, taking his place beside Zara as they stepped toward the stage. The Archon, resplendent in ceremonial robes, took the microphone. Welcome to the first ever Unity Festival. A celebration of our collective strength. Cheers erupted from the audience. Thomas exchanged a glance with Zara, excitement sparking between them. The Archon continued. Today we showcase the talents of each species and reaffirm our commitment to partnership. As the performances began, it became clear that the festival was sting. Koshek musicians filled the air with melodic sounds, while Ralthery dancers mesmerized the crowd with their fluid movements. This is incredible. Zara leaned in, her voice nearly drowned out by the music. Look at everyone enjoying themselves. I know, Thomas replied, watching individuals from various species engage with one another, laughter mixing with the local music. It's more than I imagined. As the festivities continued, Thomas noticed a group of disgruntled Ralthery near the back, whispering among themselves, their expressions tense. His curiosity piqued. "Hey," Thomas said, gesturing toward them. "Do you see that group? Something seems off." Zara squinted, her brow furrowing. "Maybe they didn't like how the performances are set up? Should we check in?" "Yeah, let's find out." Thomas stepped away from the stage toward the Ralthery. As they approached, the leader of the group, a fierce-looking Ralthery named Grix, turned to them. "Are you responsible for this festival?" Grix asked, narrowing his eyes. "Yes, we are," Thomas replied, trying to keep his tone even. "Is there an issue?" "We have concerns about the representation of the Ralthery," Grix said, crossing his arms. "The earlier program was biased. We didn't get enough time to showcase our abilities." Zara interjected, "I thought you had agreed to the performance schedule during our meetings." "You only wanted to focus on the Koshak music and the Xylarian displays," Grix countered, frustration simmering. "We didn't feel heard." "I'm sorry to hear that," Thomas said, his voice earnest. "If there was a misunderstanding, let's resolve it now. We want everyone to feel valued." Grix's demeanor softened slightly. "We just want our contributions to be recognized, not sidelined. This alliance isn't just about the Koshak and Xylarian perspectives." "Of course," Zara said, her eyes earnest. "We can adjust the schedule. Maybe we can add an additional performance later. Will it be enough?" Grix pressed. "We'll make it work," Thomas reassured. "You deserve a platform to share your culture." Grix nodded, his expression slowly relaxing. "Thank you for addressing this. We appreciate it." As they walked away, Zara sighed. "That was intense." "You handled it well," Thomas said, glancing back at Grix's group. "They'll be happier now." "I hope so," Zara replied, her expression thoughtful. "It's vital we keep an open line of communication." "Absolutely," Thomas agreed, and just then a shout rang out from the stage. "Attention, everyone." Liam's voice boomed through the speakers. "For the next segment, we'll have a spectacular surprise performance from the Ralthery." The audience erupted in applause. Zara turned to Thomas, eyes wide. "See? We did it." "Looks like our friend Grix got his chance," Thomas said, smiling. "Let's enjoy it." As the Ralthery took the stage, the atmosphere grew electric. The beats resonated through the air, and the energy in the crowd surged. Thomas swayed to the rhythm, feeling the pulse of unity enveloping him. After a thrilling performance, the audience erupted into cheers, and Grix beamed from the stage, eyes sparkling with pride. "That went well," Zara exclaimed. "I think they felt heard." "I believe so." Thomas felt relief wash over him. It's moments like these that make it all worthwhile. As the evening continued, things flowed smoothly. The festival went on, showcasing art, technology, and traditions from varied species. Thomas couldn't help but feel grateful for the contributions that everyone had made. Later, Thomas joined Zara at a quiet corner, away from the crowd. "I'm relieved that part is over," he said, catching his breath. "Me too," Zara said, her voice light but tinged with something deeper. "I think we learned a lot today about collaboration." "Definitely," he replied, glancing at her. "But there's still a lot to be done. We need to keep working on building those relationships." "Of course," Zara smiled warmly. "And whatever happens, we'll navigate it together." "Together?" Thomas echoed, the weight of the day beginning to settle into a lightness. Just then, Liam approached, looking pleased. "Hey, you two. The festival has been a massive success. We might have to make this an annual event." "Seriously?" Thomas raised an eyebrow. "That's amazing. Let's make necessary changes for next year," Zara suggested, enthusiasm bubbling within her. "Each species can take turns leading the events. That way, everyone feels engaged." "You're on to something," Liam said, grinning. "Let's get the plans going. This might just be the start of something really big." As the night sky sparkled with stars, Thomas glanced at Zara, the sparks between them undeniable. Here they were, standing at the inception of something remarkable, built on collaboration and mutual respect. And in that moment, he realized there was no doubt left in him. With Zara by his side, they could take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Their journey was just beginning, and he felt ready for it. Chapter 5: The Legend Emerges. The morning sun broke through the Xylarian skies, casting reflections on the shimmering landscapes prepared for the aftermath of the festival. In the wake of joyous celebrations, Thomas woke with renewed energy and purpose. He couldn't shake the feeling that something significant had occurred during the festival. "Hey, sleepyhead," Liam called as he entered Thomas's quarters, energy bursting from him. "You'll never guess what happened last night." "What?" Thomas groaned, still rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "People are talking about the festival. They're already buzzing about next year." Liam grinned widely, hardly able to contain himself. "No way. That's insane," Thomas exclaimed, throwing off the covers, suddenly wide awake. "Did they really enjoy it that much? Are you kidding me? They loved it. The energy, the teamwork. It was electrifying. We practically saw species bonding in real time. There's even talk of more collaborative projects." "Really? That's incredible." Thomas pushed himself up, feeling a sense of pride swell in him. "But we've got to keep the momentum going. We can't let this be a one-off." "Exactly. And I thought we could start brainstorming ideas for the next steps. More festivals, different projects, things that might introduce new technology among the species," Liam suggested. Before Thomas could respond, there was a gentle knock on the door and Zara stepped in, her bright aura filling the room. "Mind if I join? I thought we could all celebrate our success together this morning." "Of course. The more, the merrier," Thomas said, locking eyes with her, appreciation shimmering in his expression. "Good. I brought something delicious from that cafe." Zara held up a small bag. The scent wafted through the room, stimulating their senses. "Now that is something special," Liam said, reaching for the bag. "Think we can make this a breakfast tradition? If they keep serving food this good, I'm all in." Thomas laughed, feeling lighter just being around them. "Now let's sit and get started on our plans," Zara said, laying out the food before them. "We have to keep the ball rolling." As breakfast unfolded, the trio discussed ideas that made the air electric with possibilities. Ideas bounced around, from educational initiatives to cultural exchanges. The excitement of collaboration filled the room. "I think we ought to launch an interspecies learning initiative," Thomas suggested. "Each species can teach various technologies, arts, and skills." "That's a fantastic idea," Zara exclaimed, eyes brightening. "We could even create a shared knowledge database, allow everyone to access resources. And maybe host workshops and hands-on opportunities," Liam added. "We can encourage participation. This will also create a sense of investment," Zara noted, her expression reflective. "If everyone feels like they're contributing, they'll be more engaged." At that moment, a commotion echoed from the corridor outside. Curious, Thomas got up to check. As he opened the door, he found a group of representatives gathered, their voices excited and muddled. "What's going on?" Thomas asked. "I heard Grix wants to speak to you." One of the Ralthari came forward, feathers ruffled with eagerness. "Grix?" Thomas was surprised. "All right, bring him in." A moment later, Grix strode into the room, his posture dignified. "Thank you for seeing me." His tone was serious yet warm. "Of course. What's on your mind?" Thomas gestured for him to take a seat. "I'd like to discuss the festival's impact," Grix began, his tone shifting. "Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. The Ralthari are eager for more collaboration. We're excited to continue working together," Thomas replied, gesturing toward Zara and Liam. "This isn't just about one festival, it's about building a community." Grix nodded. "Exactly. We wish to contribute to future initiatives wholeheartedly." "That's great to hear," Zara said, leaning forward. "What ideas do you have in mind?" "We've been developing a new energy-efficient transportation system," Grix explained, a hint of pride marking his tone. "We would like to offer a demonstration at your next event." "Absolutely. That could draw in huge participation," Liam said, practically buzzing. "Imagine showcasing it at a festival." "I'd love to see that," Thomas responded. "It would definitely enhance collaboration between our species." Also, Grix added, "We're willing to help strengthen the Ralthari representation across the initiatives. We want to ensure equal footing in every aspect of our collaboration." "Count me in," Liam said, grinning. "Together we can build a strong foundation." As the conversation flowed, Thomas felt a shifting energy in the room, a current of cooperation and respect that transcended species. Hours whizzed by as they fleshed out plans. Zara suggested ways to engage various species in collaborative projects that culminated in positive cultural exchanges. Grix expanded on transportation possibilities that could ultimately connect them all. Eventually, they wrapped up the meeting, and as others filtered out, Thomas exchanged a satisfied glance with Zara. "What just happened?" "New partnerships," she said thoughtfully. "We're building something substantial here. This alliance is forming right in front of our eyes." Yeah, it feels like we're creating a living network, a collective consciousness sometimes elusive but definitely alive now, Thomas said, energized. We ought to celebrate this momentum, Liam suggested. How about we organize a small gathering today? Zara proposed, her enthusiasm contagious. We could reach out to those involved to discuss future projects and get their input. I can handle the food, Liam said with a cheeky smile. The cafe does great platters. Sounds perfect. Thomas agreed. Let's go for it. As the afternoon wore on, they set up a space, inviting representatives, friends, and even festival attendees to join them for an informal discussion. They turned the gathering into a lovely atmosphere, filled with laughter, chatter, and the clinking of glasses. As the groups mingled, Thomas realized just how far they had all come. They were united not only by their efforts but also in warmth, curiosity, and the joy of shared experiences. He found himself talking with members of other species, hearing their stories while sharing his own. Who would have thought this simple idea could turn into something so much more, he mused, watching Zara interact effortlessly with others. It's all about fostering a community, she replied, joining him. You've done remarkable work. The discussions blossomed around them, weaving vibrant threads of culture and technology. Thomas glanced at Zara, feeling a rush of gratitude for her partnership. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, the spirits in the room felt buoyant. Cheers erupted as more ideas were exchanged, and each laugh echoed hope into the atmosphere. Tonight is just a beginning, Thomas said, looking out at the bustling crowd. Imagine what we can accomplish if we do this regularly. We'll build connections that transcend worlds, Zara said, her voice glowing with sincerity. That's the spirit, Liam chimed in. This could become our new tradition. As the night continued, Thomas felt the warmth of camaraderie wrap around him. His heart swelled as laughter and friendship filled the air. He realized this was more than just a networking event, it was a celebration of solidarity. Suddenly, the sounds of laughter turned to a collective cheer. Grix raised his glass high. To new beginnings. To new beginnings, the gathering echoed back, the sense of unity tangible. With every clink of glasses and shared stories, the foundation for a thriving community solidified. Looking around at the friends he had made and the relationships blossoming, Thomas couldn't help but smile. Here, in the heart of Xyler, the legend of their collaboration began to unfold. Together, with Zara at his side, they would inspire others, building bridges across the stars. This was a journey of exploration and creativity, one that promised adventure beyond imagining, and he wouldn't have it any other way.